I just had to stop what I was doing and catch this particular moment in real time and just record this. So I was watching Ryan Coogler's lecture that he gave in 2022, and he got, I was it was great listening and um, throughout the entire thing, but then right around like the 37, 38 minute mark, he talked about his dad and how he suffered dealing with the disease and fortunately came out of it. Uh, but he was talking about the strength. He saw his dad as like the strongest person in the world to him that he knows, um, and also having brothers, which is it's just an interesting parallel for me because I have three brothers, and my dad recently suffered a stroke. You know, and that one caught me, right? Like, just thinking about the the power and the strength, he was kind of speaking to when it comes to our fathers and my dad in particular, right? Like, you know, it's like Superman, right? So it's an interesting uh, point, and in the midst of me kind of getting to a point of potentially, dropping some strength myself. Uh, Somebody sent me a message, uh, and it was a response to something I had said to them in terms of collaboration and education. And the response was basically that what I said to them in a good way, right, made them cry, and that hit me, in that particular moment, in this moment, just happened. And I want to speak directly to uh, not only anybody who's had hardships or anything like that related to family members and health, but also the premise actually of what I said to that person at the end of it was basically you may not be a formal teacher, right? Talking about education now. While you may not be a formal teacher, you can still definitely be an educator. In which case, a lot of people are, and it's I think refreshing to really start to think about how influence and impact and um, real work, effort, those things, how far they go and how those things translate and transfer into the hearts, minds, and lives of particularly young people in general, right, regardless of who it is. And I think that there's not necessarily enough said about uh, the role in terms of the educational process that a lot of people have who are not necessarily formally trained or the ones in the classroom per se. Not to take anything away from teachers. I mean, clearly, my background's in education, right? So, um, all love to teachers. Uh, I also think that there's can be space, and it should be said, and in making sure that we allow um, defining of terms and what things mean, but at the same time letting people know, if you're a community leader or advocate, you run a nonprofit, you run an after school program, something alternative space, homeschool, whatever it is, like basically anybody who teaches for the benefit of another person to make their life better, to me, you're an educator, right? You may not necessarily be a formal teacher, right? You don't have the credential or you don't work in an actual traditional school building, but you are still, in fact, making an impact and changing, shaping, building, lives, helping people, right? Disseminating and passing along, sharing information, wisdom, and that's the importance of it at the core. So yeah, it just all kind of came to I think just a point of hold on, let me take a breath and talk about it and actually share it too, which I don't think um, happens enough. Talking through and offering the real uh, conversations, the real aspect of being human. Like this is where like true in-depth kind of education comes in, and how we navigate these particular moments and what it means for other people and how we can not only grow within ourselves, but then what that can translate into and transform into for the next person. So it's a beautiful journey, undoubtedly, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily the easiest thing. But I once heard that if you're still here, you're undefeated against bad days, which means a lot. And a lot of that uh, development and winning, a lot of that comes from education, right? What you learned, what you were trained in, what you were taught, what you experienced, and those things now become our realities. And regardless of kind of where we find ourselves, there's a lot to be said and to be grateful for, and yeah, and there are a lot of people, at the helm of that, whether they were formal teachers or educators in whatever context. But that's all I got for now. Keep checking everything out that I'm putting out and producing. Educational empowerment. It's all about support, growth, peace, and love.